Welcome student. In this lesson we will solve equations, and we will start with the first example where we need to solve an equation that is a linear equation. How do I know this is a linear equation? If we look at the variable x, first of all we will see that the power of x is 1 because there is no number here. We consider it x to the power of 1, which we only write it as an x, and it is of the form whereas there is a number 5 or 3 multiply by a variable. This is the most important characteristic of a linear equation. We have a variable to the power of 1 and maybe there is a number in front of it. So number, variable, number, variable. Maybe we can find a number alone, that's fine, but this is exactly the type of a linear equation. And for the linear equation, what we need to do is we need to bring all the variable to one side, all the numbers alone to the other side. So if we start solving this equation, we will start by writing the equation first as is. The next step is I will move this 3x to the left side. I will move this 6 to the right side. So what we get 5x. Now removing 3x, because it's a positive, it will go to the other side, changing the sign. So it will be negative 3x. Please be careful, there's a negative. And the 6, because it is negative, it will go to the other side as positive. So we get 6. Now we have 5x, negative 3x. So we just need to subtract 5 from 3, keep x as is. So we will get 2x equal to 6. So far so good. The last step is we need to divide by 2 so that we can get x alone. Usually if we have a number multiplied by a variable, so we have a number here, we have a variable here, if we want to get rid of this number, we have to divide by this number. So I have to divide both sides by 2. And that's what I'm going to do here. So if we divide by 2, so we get 2x, and then I divide by 2. The other side has to be treated the same way, so I have 6, but I will divide it by 2. Now, what's gonna happen is 2 and 2 get cancelled because 2 over 2 is equal to 1. 6 over 2, we can simplify it, and we will get x equal to 3. At this point, this is the solution that we get. Of course, the nice thing about equation in general, that whenever you reach a solution, for example, in this case, x equal to 3, you can check if your solution is correct by substituting in the original equation. What do I mean by that? If you have a calculator, remove this x and write a 3. So in your calculator, you multiply 5 times 3, negative 6. So 5 times 3 minus 6, what's gonna be the answer? It will be 9. Now in the right hand side you do the same, remove this and write a 3. Now multiply 3 by 3, 9. 9 equal to 9, yes, so my answer is correct, and for that I'm sure the answer is correct. Now there is one step, I'll make it in blue. Usually sometimes we write the solution as a set, so we write solution set, we write equal, we open a bracket and we close a bracket, and we write the answer, which is 3. This is usually called solution set. Some textbook they call it SS. We will not use that often, but usually we just can write solution set. Between two brackets we write the values for x, and that's the first example here. Please pause this video, think about this example, see how things gonna happen. Moving on to the second example, where there is a kind of an idea here. It's already written in the question. It's called open brackets method. Now if you notice this question, first of all there are some brackets, and the first step to solve an equation is to open those brackets. Now how do we open those brackets? We have to distribute the 2 among everything in the brackets. So What do I mean by that? It means I will do 2 times p, which is 2p, plus I will do 2 times 4. Everything has to be multiplied by this 2 because this is how the way we open the bracket. Everything multiply with everything. So this will give me 2 times 4 is 8. The other side, of course, I did nothing, so I will just write it down back here. And now we do the same step that we just did. We take 7b to the other side. We take the 8 to the other side. What we are going to get? We are going to get 2b. Now 7b, we will change the sign, so it will become negative because it was positive. So it will become 7b equal 2, which was before, and now I will change the sign of the 8, it will become again negative. Now simple arithmetic, 2b minus 7b, this is negative 5p. 2 negative 8 is negative 6. The last step, as we just did before, remember, if we have a number with a variable, the way to get rid of this number is by dividing by this number. So I will get negative 5p, I'll divide it by negative 5. I have to do the same thing to the other side. So I get negative 6, which I'll divide it by negative 5. Now if we look at here, negative 5 top and bottom will get cancelled. So what we are going to get is only p, which is the one I'm looking for, equal the right hand side will be 6 over 5 because negative and negative would get cancelled. And this is my answer for this question. Of course, how do I check if my answer is correct? Substitute here 6 over 5 and calculate this new calculator. Substitute here 6 over 5 calculated by your calculator. If you get the same number left and right, that means your answer is correct and you are sure that you have the right answer. And that's the nice thing about solving equation, that you always can check if your answer is correct or not. Last step, as we did in the previous example, we want to write it as a solution set, which we open bracket, we close bracket, and we write the answer or the answers. Sometimes in some equations later on, we will see that we get more than one answer. So we need to write all the answer here. But again, don't write the solution set except if you check that your answer is correct, which is a very easy, very simple process to verify that your answer is correct. Example number 3, which again, it has an idea. And the idea here is we need to clear the denominator. If you look at this example, we have numerator and denominator. Usually we don't like to deal with denominator that much, so the best idea is we need to multiply by whatever in the denominator to kill it here. Now, if we look at 2, I can multiply the whole equation by 2, but that will not help me here to get rid of the 4. So the idea is we will try to multiply by the big number first and see how we can clear the denominator. So solution, multiply the equation by 4, and we'll see what will happen. Now if we multiply the equation, before I multiply the equation, I need to write it down. X minus 8 over 4 equal to 6. Now we need to multiply it by 4. So I will multiply everything here by 4. I multiply everything here by 4. I multiply everything here by 4. So every term, I multiply it by 4. Now let's see what happened. Now if we multiply by 4, 4 divided by 2, this will leave me only 2. So what I will get 2, and then I keep the brackets, minus. Now this one is very interesting because if we multiply by 4, 4 and 4 get cancelled. So I have nothing left except the bracket, 9x negative 8 equal. Now 4 times 6, this is just simply 24. The next idea is we just need to distribute the number among everything in the bracket. Even the negative will just go inside. So what we will get, 2 times 7, 14, plus 2 times 3, 6, negative 1 times 9, give me negative 9, negative 1 times negative 8, this will give me plus 8, equal to 24. Now, what we have 14x, negative 9x, this will give me just 5x. Take all, maybe just let's finish it here, plus 6 plus 8, this is 14, equal 24. Next step, take 14 to the other side because numbers goes together. You will get 24 negative 14, which means I'll get 5x equal to 10. Divide everything by 5. And what you will get is 10 divided by 5. So x gonna be equal to 2. And that's my solution. Of course, I need to check, is my solution correct? So what you need to do, substitute 2 and 2. If we do that, if we put 2 here, we will get 14 plus 3, 17 over 2. Here we will get 10 over 4. If we write it in the calculator, yes, the answer would be 6. Last step, we just need to write the solution set, which is only 2 because I have only one answer. That's what we call it, clear the denominator. So whenever we have a denominator, we need to clear it out so that the equation will become easier. Open brackets method, take variables together, take the numbers together, and then you find the answer. Question number 4. Again, it's the same process, same everything, except this type of a question, we call it literal equation. Now, what is a literal equation means, and what does it really mean for an equation to be literal? Literal equation, if you look at this equation, we don't have only one variables. Here we have 3 variables. We have C, we have L, we have W. But the question is we need only to solve for W. When we say solve for W, it means I want to see W in one side alone. I don't want to see W with other things. So only we need to find W. Now, we can continue doing the same thing we did before by open the bracket. That's absolutely fine, and I will continue in the same process. So the first step, I will open the bracket. So the 2 will get inside everything. So we get C equal 2L plus 2W. Next step, I want W to be alone, so I will take everything to the other side. So I will get C negative 2L equal 2W. The final step is we need to divide by 2. So all what you need to do is C minus 2L divided by 2, and that will be just W. And that's what we call it, solve for W. Of course, from the beginning you can divide by 2 and get rid of this 2 and then take L to the other side. That's fine, that's absolutely fine. You get the same answer as this one. This is, we call it literal equation. Let's see an example 5, different type of equation, what we call them fractional equations. Now, fractional equation, it means x is in the denominator. How we are going to solve such equation? If x is in the denominator, we will solve it the same way we solve the clear the denominator. We have to multiply by everything in the denominator. Now, the only thing is in the denominator is x, so we multiply. the equation by x. That's what we will get. So I have a 3 over x plus 5 equal to 2. Now what you need to do is you need to multiply everything. Left hand side by x, right hand side by x. Of course, we can just multiply one by one or multiply it quickly. Now if we do this, what we will get 3 over x, and there is an x here, plus 5 times x. Remember, this will multiply by this, and this will multiply by this, equal 2x. Now there is cancellation. X get cancelled. So what we get is 3 plus 5x equal 2x. Now take numbers together, variables together. So what we will get, if we do it a little bit quick here, we'll get 3x to the left equal negative 3. Why do I get 3x? Because I have 5x and I will bring negative 2x to it. I will get 3x, and the 3 will just go to the other side with a negative sign. Divide by 3, x equal negative 1. Boom, boom. And that's where we have solution set equal negative 1. Next question, which will be example number 6. The same idea as we just did, at least I can give you the hint and I will leave it for you to try it by yourself. 2x plus 10. Now this type of equation, again, it's a fractional equation. The reason why, because there is an x in the denominator, and what we are going to do with such an equation, we are going to multiply. So a hint, multiply the denominator by everything you see in the denominator. What do I see? I see 2x plus 10, and also I see x plus 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply everything by this. Here, here, and here. Oh, what do I mean by that? What we will get? What's the benefit? Let's see. If I write the equation, this is the equation. Now, what you are going to do is the following. You multiply 2x plus 10. You multiply x plus 5. Now, the next term, do the same. You have 1. So I will multiply this one by 2x plus 10, x plus 5. And then we have plus 1 over x plus 5, and again we multiply it by the same, 2x plus 10, x plus 5. Now, if we look at term by term, there is a cancellation. 2x plus 10, 2x plus 10 get cancelled. X plus 5 get cancelled. So what's left for us is the following. In the top here we have 3x with x plus 5 equal, we have those two brackets here, and finally we have only 2x plus 10. Now what you need to do is open the bracket, bring all x's together, and you will get the answer for this questions. Thank you very much.